WDON1204.com. Community focused, globally connected. Find us online at Coleman Global. WDON is proud to present our latest podcast, The Colors of Sound. Our mission is to create a safe space for community members from around the world to share their personal stories. Listen on all streaming platforms or on our podcast station, WDON1204.com. The Colors of Sound podcast. Discover how much we have in common. So, man, like New York City, you've born and raised, where you reside,
Born
what do
and
you love
raised
about it?
in the Bronx, and I've been like so blessed to be. I'm all New York. Everybody loves their borough, and I love all my boroughs. I feel like I'm all the boroughs wrapped in one, and I've been blessed to live in everyone: Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens. Really quickly, some a little bit longer, but I got love for New Yorkers all in general. So I feel like part of my purpose is to bring New York together as a blended family.
That because we do have some seriously forgotten areas, so that would be dope.
Yeah, the Bronx
Yeah.
is one of the.
Mainly naming,
I love it. And I love anybody from the Bronx who's doing anything creative, anything amazing. Yeah, I just got nothing bad to say about anybody who can come from here and make it. Whether it's Cardi B, Fat Joe, whoever, I love them all. I feel like Stan Lee from the Bronx.
Everybody is so interested in creating the story of the Bronx and writing, what they believe about it without having spent any time here, without like really spending some quality time eating the food, meeting the people, knowing the real vibe of what's going down. So I like how you're approaching it, and really more than just changing the Bronx, you are on the way of changing the world. So I mean, I want to jump in with Pretzel Boy. Like, how did you? Like, for anybody who hasn't heard of it yet, right? Like, how are you describing this to people, and how did you get started on that particular journey?
Well, for anybody looking, you can go on Amazon.com and find it on the Pretzel Boy or my website, the Adventures of PretzelBoy.com, to get an exclusive copy. Or you could find it on my website, Mr. Phinizy official. But the Pretzel Boy book has just been a really fun phenomenon that really has been taking a life on its own. As a creator, I've created many things, but this is the first thing that I've ever created. And it just had a whole entire life of its own and just bringing crowds of all background together, which was intentional. So to kind of see this all come to life and it go from just a book and from a book now to really in the process of becoming an animated series by a network who wanted to release it. But then so many other networks are tapping in and really taking interest. Principal has taken a whole life of its own, and the beauty of just watching him come from like idea to paper to life and animation is nothing less than magical. So just to really be a part of this amazing journey of creating this amazing larger than life character and really watching the impact that he's already had on the world behind the scenes. I just can't wait to see what he's going to do, on that larger scale. People have no idea of the backstory of what's going on. You watch these books and they become amazing books and iconic, characters where, it's not really till you watch these behind the scenes stories of like what it took to get there,
That's right.
and just really like the people and the hands and inspirations.
That's right.
It's always a thing of its own.
That's right. Because I mean, like, we're just, we're consumers. So we're sitting on the couch and we see a final product. We don't see how many days, minutes, hours, weeks, years it took to get something to come to life. We just see the final product. And as humans do, we sit and criticize that final product, right? But this actually sounds like a super exciting opportunity for a lot of different age groups. So like, what's his story? What's Pretzel Boy? What's he getting into? What's his his raison d'etre? You know what I'm saying? Like, was
I think the fun thing about Pretzel Boy is he really is misunderstood, and he's just representing those of us who also may feel like that as well. I feel like just definitely having a bit of an urban experience in his life of morphing in from this object to obviously a boy, and then having everyone either want to consume him or want a piece of him in the process of Pretzel Boy just trying to be himself. Really, he's faced with all these adversaries of people feeling they have the right to consume him, hurt him, harm him, touch him, whatever. All these things are coming at him, and he's just trying to live his life. So, the process of him just trying to live his life as, melanated people, we tend to know pretty well. You will get painted a story of being a menace, with how you may react to how society may be treating you. So, in that you kind of see those things kind of play out as a role of menace or hero. You kind of decide, but in the process of him just really being himself, he's like it's a liberating thing. So really, with the intention of creating Pretzel Boy, with the inspiration of, I say, children of all ages, because do we ever really grow up with the things that make our hearts smile and big and move, and we really quickly go back to those eras of childhood. So my intention of creating Pretzel Boy honestly was inspired by Eloise in the Plaza, and the socialite who created her was this, you know, uh, fabulous woman named Kay. I forget her last name, and this amazing artist who had captured her vision, and just the dynamic of the backstory of creating this iconic New York character really was intentional with me. So studying the blueprint of, just Eloise in the Plaza, I really was, curious of putting my spin on that, and fusing it, of course, with, I say putting a new twist on an old
yeah.
tale, as you say,
Yeah.
of familiar gingerbread. But Principal is nobody's gingerbread. Like, get that
Yeah,
out of here.
no,
Like, that is like
definitely not.
2008. Like, this is like a whole new era, a whole new thing. And with Principal just explaining his background, he is this creature, who gets morphed into a little boy. And in the process of him trying to, live his honest truth in his life, he is confronted with a lot of people who may have an intention of him
Hmm.
that may not be his intention. So
Hmm.
in the liberation of just kind of finding his own voice and having these fun musical abilities to when he's faced with, any adversaries, he just has these abilities to kind of flip the script, and he uses music as his tool, so just as the radio, he just is the voice of this generation and so many different ones. So it's really using music that you see he knows how to kind of unintentionally, or maybe it's intentionally,
Hmm.
bring people together
I love it.
without them even knowing it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah, yeah.
so it's just
It's
the
far
thing
more
of that's
organic.
just,
Yeah.
it's far more organic, and just the spirit of just how he is. He's a riot, and he's funny. So watching him come to life and really touch kids really has been very inspirational. So watching him turn into an animation, just wanting to see what you know that would
And
do
how it's going to be
in a sense.
received. I mean,
How can you receive, it's just one of those things to where it's just it's it's fun, it's nerve wracking, it's all those things.
I
Yes.
love it. I love it, man. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. So talk to me about, because I know you, right? I know that Pretzel Boy and being a writer and a publisher, a producer, an animator, like those are not the only hats that you wear. Those are not the only roles that you have. You're also an actor, right? And there's other things
Thank you.
that I've witnessed of yours that are, I mean, like there's so much talent, and I can't wait for the world to really start to experience more of James, right? So what are some of the
Thank you so
other, like
much.
what brought you into entertainment? Like, was that because someone was inspiring to you? Is that because it was just always inside of you? Like, what put you on this path? And do you feel like you're living your purpose?
You know, it's so funny that you say that. The first thing that flashed in my mind was I just remember growing up as like this really reserved guy, not being able to really voice who I was and be uh, the best version of myself because I just remember being this kid being bullied. It's so wrong, and it was just so skinny and so abusable. But I just remember, it has so much spirit. But looking back at that, as you just said that, it really reminded me of how sometimes we're placed in different scenarios where they uh, can be seeds to kind of, break your spirit and you're not really, in your truth. And I remember I had to take this night school class and it was full of like maybe 40 people per class. And I remember this teacher in particular, Miss Johnson, who was just like, God bless. She was sexual chocolate. She was just this beautiful, brown skinned, gorgeous woman. She was Mrs. Jones was her name, Mrs. Jones, and I could see why they say I used to sing to that song to her, Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones. She's bad. Mrs. Jones was a Mrs. Jones was so gorgeous, but just for the fun of it, she just was so encouraging. I just remember it was an English class I had to repeat. There was a lot of writing involved, and she was so inspirational and making sure that I always read whatever project that I had
Hmm.
we had to write first. And I just remember I felt comfortable because I got a chance to really write comedy,
Mm.
which is really my heart.
Hmm.
So I got a chance to be funny. And I just remember it was the first chance that I kind of got a glimpse into that side of my personality of like controlling a crowd,
Right.
and being funny and being engaging. And I was like, who is this person? And it was funny because I almost could write a script on it. I remember going to my regular school and not being popular,
Hmm.
but going to night school and having this whole personality of popularity. And my friend was like, who
Yeah.
are you? This duality of just like they didn't know who I was. They didn't know I could have been a loser or whatever in my school, which I was. But in this night school, for what being so funny and being able to kind of be like accepted and loved for my brain and my ideas, just really being on.
Yeah.
And I remember I couldn't turn myself on like that in every environment. It was just right there alone. I
Mm.
was able to do in that flash of just like that class. And I remember going through cycles where I couldn't turn that back on. And I think that was just a glimpse to me of just what I feel the higher power of God just was just introducing me into of like, these are all the tools that you kind of have to go to grow,
That's
to
right.
learn how to be able to be, manage to do these things. But it
That's
was a
right.
kind of glimpse into the future. So just being, in that class and just having that laughter, it kind of just like bit me, like not as a class clown, but endeared as a class writer with other writers, was very um, encouraging for me.
Hmm.
So I think that kind of set the path for me to kind of really want to be around and amongst other creators. And even in searching to find that in those paths, having great, amazing mentors to help inspire me to be able to get to those skills. So I'm
That's
very
powerful.
grateful. Looking back, you just said that, it just gave me that
Yeah,
flash.
no, that's really
Into
powerful.
all of that. But I say that to say, you go through these stages of like becoming. And I think that was the first stage of me getting a glimpse of becoming into the role of, writer, Mr. Phinizy, creator,
Hmm.
and just path. And it takes, as
Hmm.
a fellow creator yourself, it is definitely a path.
That's
I
absolutely
don't know if
right.
it's a path I necessarily chose on my own. You know,
It's not one you wish
it
on
chooses
people, you
you.
know?
It chooses you. We don't choose that. It's a hard life. It's a hard knock
It
life.
is a hard
But
nut life. That's absolutely right. I mean, but you know what? It I think for anybody who is searching for their reason, right? Searching for their purpose, for searching
yeah,
for their like innermost passion that's going to like last for the rest of their time and live on beyond them, right? Because I think a lot of the things that we choose to do and we wind up doing in life, we don't know the ripple effects of all of those things, right? Which is what takes me back to Pretzel Boy, and that that has the absolute vibe and potential to affect generations of people, right? And I think that in and of itself makes the birthing process even that much more fun.
well, fun and hard. Birth ain't never no easy for
That's
nobody.
right.
That's somebody's mama.
That's right. Listen,
I'll tell
it ain't
you,
never been
it's
promised.
never easy.
Nothing.
Nothing worth it is ever easy, right?
That's right. Nothing that's worth it is ever going to be easy.
I love that you're saying that. Thank you for even saying that because I feel like, I think until you really go through those type of growing pains, you really don't understand the depth of the gratitude that one needs to be able to have the capacity to hold those
That's
things. I
right.
think, you're so caught up in ego and, I'm joking right now, talking about how hard it is, but, there's lessons and I think there's seeds, find the
Mm-hmm.
seeds,
Mm-hmm.
within the hard, there are seeds,
Yeah.
you find them and you refine you and you're on to the next. So, even in that, I try to even add some of those elements, even in the stories of Pretzel Boy
Mm-hmm.
and extending it and having the amazing opportunity to turn it with a really good friend of mine, Karen uh, Skybo, amazing talent who helped me co-write the animated series and, really just the inspiration of like wanting to capture a animated comedy series. Like that was important to me. Like, I'm looking at I'm not trying to down anybody's, you know, uh, creative artistic process, but there's so many things that tend to just blur. I just feel like everything just is so blurred.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Listen, I mean, I
you
think that's a very fair statement, right? We've been inundated with 1,000 streaming stations that all have full rosters of content. Everything is not going to be
I
good.
mean, it really was a matter of, it took 7 hard, long years to get to a point where we could get it to animation. It doesn't happen overnight. Having amazing mentorships from huge production companies, there's things that go into it that people have no idea. So to create a animation of this size, it is definitely one that I could say is probably maybe one of the biggest but hardest things I've ever had to do, but maybe one of the most rewarding creative wise. So it's so rich. I can't wait for people to see it. You've got a little glimpse of it, Tim, but I just really can't wait for people to see
The
the finished,
fullness of it.
best, polished
Yeah,
project
yeah,
of
yeah.
it. I think it really would be such a treat, for people right now in this
I love it. I love it. So, all right. So we have plenty of things to expect from you. We know that you're multi-talented. Give us your website
time.
address again.
It is the adventures of pretzelboy.com. I'm sorry, it's so long. I promise I'm gonna figure out a way to abbreviate it quickly. But yeah, just you can Google that or you can Google Mr. Phinizy, Phinizy, and just really go and get a, your hands on the book. If you're a librarian, if you are a teacher, if you are a parent, if you are a uncle, auntie, whoever you are, I don't know,
That's right.
somebody's nana, grandma,
Come on, even
you have a kid who you love, or you were the kid. I don't care. It's for kids of all ages. Get yourself a copy of the book. I guarantee you are going to just love it. It is a really fun tale for all. I think so. Maybe Tim will tell you. He can say, but I think it's a fun tale for all.
Listen,
I think,
I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be well received. You might get a couple of
thank you
emails
very
from the Usher board, but I think everybody is really going
much.
to. Right? No, these are the kids they love to pinch. Um, so as you think about your legacy, right, and you've just given some amazing prophetic vision, and I pray blessings and prosperity upon you, like
I
just
receive it, bro.
showered to the
Thank
point
you.
where you got to put on a shower cap with it. All right.
Thank you,
But
bro.
when you,
See,
yeah, amen. So when you get to the part where you think about your own legacy, right? And even though you're building it and living it and the plane is still flying already because there's already all these other things that you've already done. As you think about that
yeah.
legacy, what is it that you want to leave people that you want to leave people with, that you want people to speak about you, once you've transitioned? What does that look like your life's work?
I think the reoccurring thing that I want to hear, um, I would like to do from just working with people to, saying, yeah, I think that's what I want to hear. Uh,
Hmm.
is people just saying, you inspired me, James, to do bop, bop, bop.
Hmm.
I don't know what bop, bop, bop is. It could be different things
For
for
different people. That's
different
right.
folks. But it inspired you to move, take action, and some form of value in yourself that you shifted, thought different, moved different.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
if I managed to do that, I would have won,
There
right?
you go.
So it's the power of influence to inspire someone to kind of just turn that inward and see, like, God created you to be uh, the individual that you are.
Hmm.
You have work to do.
Yeah.
In that work of tuning into whatever that is, because it's different for different people. I just want to say thank you, Tim. You have been such an inspiration to me, just always in energy and love
Thanks, man.
and leadership. What you do for the Bronx, people don't know what you do. I don't think enough people know what you do. And, and it's like always the leaders who do the most that don't get the most recognition. And I just want to say, I see you. I thank you for what you do for the Bronx. We
Thank
have a
you.
lot of work to do together for the
Amen.
Bronx.
That's right.
So I'm going to be tapping on you.
That's right. That's right. Listen.
Like we got some stuff to do because I want to see the Bronx in a better place. I don't feel like that's that right now in a certain economy, and I feel like there are people who are of influence who could do more.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we need to be tapping on the shoulders,
That's
because
right. That's right.
we need to be able to create a place and a space and a borough that we could take pride in. And there's so many things going on that I'm just really not happy with. Just a lot of the youth, really these robberies,
Yeah.
crime,
But I have to tell you,
people get
if they
hurt.
had more engaging things to do that were
That's my point.
positive,
We,
the
that's my
story would
point.
be different. Right? So definitely get the book. Definitely become a fan. Please, like and follow everything that James is doing so that you can be, the amongst the first that see when everything comes to life. I love being this far in advance of the full vision coming out for everybody else. Like, you have no idea how amazing it's going to be. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining us again here at the Colors of Sound podcast. You can check us out on our website at WDON1204.com. You can also hear our podcast on all of the major stations. So we thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. And we wish you well.